I know that ain't who I think it is.
I ain't dreaming.
What is this? Huh? This is rock.
Hell no.
Jack got that text when you 5 in the morning, you probably done paying your lease. Wanna get out of the country, you say you wanna go on a trip out of Greece. Wanna get out of the country, wanna get different, you wanna get runchy. Buy the ticket right now, you tell me you want me. Why don't we stay with me right in this bed? Tell me what he won't do so I can do it instead.
These are your MySpace top 8 friends, and whilst Nike was still king, Reebok was right there, right in the rearview mirror. And then?
You know the thing though? Nike was king on the sports, but when it came down to apparel and shit, they wasn't. At least from me, like Nike was over them. It's just Reebok had them deals with the companies and shit like that. Like, and I don't want to act like Reebok did not sell apparel, but I just don't think that they were on Nike's level. But Reebok had the sports game on a lock though.
Gone. So how does a company take 65 years to build a global empire and then lose everything?
W sub.
And they're absolutely
Hey yo, welcome to the community game. Brandon 10-1 sub. Thanks for the prom.
And the car crash ending of one of the world's most famous brands.
Yo, Hash with another guy. Oh! Yo, Hash.
It's good.
Thank you, bro.
The game at the buzzer.
Hey, my 10 people that got a sub from game, make sure I tell them thank you. Real shit, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Real talk.
From championships to the clearance bin, let's deep dive. Who
Okay.
killed Reebok?
It's a good video. I'm interested.
The story of Reebok goes all the way back to Harold Abrahams and Eric Liddell winning gold at the 1924 Olympics, but I'm going to save us some time. Let's
Double up, what you talking about?
As Reebok and American entrepreneur Paul Fireman attempted to break the British running brand into the American market.
Jay-Z killed him?
From the beginning, Reebok had one eye on Nike. The waffle racer, produced by the company with the swoosh, had already been dominating the market for almost a decade. As the 1980s dawned, aerobics was becoming a cultural phenomenon in America. Thanks to fitness icons Jane Fonda and Richard Simmons, Reebok saw an opportunity to dominate a niche market. And while Nike had the runners locked up, they hadn't recognized the potential of the stretchers. Reebok seized the opportunity, creating the Freestyle, the first ever shoe designed exclusively for aerobics.
Man, I remember these on Def Jam fighting for New York.
Marketing strategy, including free aerobics classes with Richard
Yeah,
Simmons,
what you doing, man?
catapulted the brand into mainstream success. Sales skyrocketed. Reebok had landed. Even celebrities started wearing Reebok, with Sybil Shepherd at the Emmys in
I ain't know that Darius.
Jagger dancing in the street, even appearing on Sigourney Weaver as she stomped out aliens in 1986.
Do something!
But Fireman knew that betting everything on the spandex-clad aerobics fad, come on, was risky.
Them niggas was
The
gas.
leg warmers went out of style. Spoiler, they did. So with a secure market share and money to put behind innovation, Reebok laced up their trainers to challenge Nike directly. Next stop, the basketball court.
You ate them.
Dominated.
It really wasn't that many. I ain't gonna lie. Like those were leftovers that I left on the stove from when I first came home from the store, and I ain't want them sitting out. I don't know how long I'm streaming, so I said I'm gonna just eat them.
Dance studios, why not a different kind of hardwood? The NBA had long been established as a shop window for sneaker brands to advertise their shoes to America.
Ate them like they was running away. We watching Reebok.
Nike, all releasing basketball lines that crossed over into mainstream fashion. The Superstar, the Blazer, the Clyde. But as the 1980s rolled on, the shoes began to transform, and the battle intensified. The basic Converse All-Star, which had dominated the league since the 1930s.
Man, I don't know how be wearing them flat ass Converse, man. I think God gave me bad feet or something. Them hurt my feet, man. I can't do it. Yo, Jay, thank you for giving Guapo a sub. I appreciate you.
Adidas rolled out the top 10 in 1979, prompting Nike's Air Force One in 1982, and followed up with the Michael Jordan endorsed Air Jordan.
Bad foot, man. Them hurt.
Not to be outdone, Converse revamped their.
Yo, Cornelius, please thank you for the big. Before I get this sub, man. Yo, shout out to my dog Double O, man. I appreciate you, gang. Thank you for the subs, though.
All-Star into the Converse weapon the following year, endorsed by Magic and Bird. Point is, if Reebok were going to insert themselves...
Bro, I remember these weak-ass shoes, bro. So, look, man, I did not have no good shoe game, bro. I just didn't, bro. One time, my brother dad was like... he was getting rid of some of his shoes. And he had some super old kicks. Like, they wasn't these. I'm telling you, they wasn't these. But they was some Converse. They was old. Them start to crack. My old weak ass with no shoes was trying to like, maybe y'all can wear these. Put them the f down. My mama said, put that shit trash. Oh my God. Bro.
Basketball.
No shoes, bro.
You better have some technological advancements to blow the competition away. And luckily, in 1988, inspiration struck.
Yeah.
In the form of an inflatable ski boot.
An inflatable ski boot. If you had Starburst, no, I hated them.
Italian tennis brand.
That's when I started to realize, okay, ugly shoes.
Ski boot technology.
Starburst was horrible. I mean, y'all ain't gonna get me.
Looked at it and thought, why not stick it in a basketball shoe? And thus, the pump was born. Unfortunately, the first few attempts weren't exactly slam dunks. The original prototypes, the self-inflating Pro Pump and the Pump Short, which had a heel pump, were...
Them is like they straight up the 80s.
VP of Operations, Brick.
Oh, 88.
But Reebok had another problem. As always, Nike were already 2 steps ahead. Sent in the competition, the swoosh countered with the Air Pressure, a shoe with
ugly as hell too
to support the ankle. And to put it politely, Nike's version was sleek and Reebok's wasn't.
Both of them ass.
Reebok had built its entire pump system into the shoe, controlled by a silicon basketball pump mechanism on the tongue. Nike's Air Pressure required a separate hand pump, which you plugged in the back and was actually...
Man, they was selling bullshit.
Annoying. So when it came time to release the pumps onto the hardwood, Nike's shoe flopped.
Man, I don't need no from the 80s and 90s telling me nothing. Y'all was going for anything. That big fat ass shoe, you gotta put a little air pump on.
And Reeboks took flight. Literally.
In the competition, so we know we're going to have a new champion.
But I think the guy who's really going to excite in this competition is D. Brown.
What a dumb gimmick. That's what I'm saying. Gimmick was ass.
Thanks to Boston Celtics guard D. Brown. And Brown wasn't the biggest name in the NBA, but he took his moment.
Oh, he's pumping his shoes up.
Before every dunk in the 1991 slam dunk contest, he bent down.
Oh, they owe him a bag.
Pumped up his
they owe him a bag.
On his own pumps. And the crowd went wild.
Okay.
Handed windmill reverse jam.
For his final dunk, Brown planned to wear a Reebok hat, but was blocked by the NBA. So he turned to a backup jam.
Oh yeah, they offered him a bag.
His eyes. Well, at least he planned to close his eyes. In mid-air, Brown realized no one could actually see he had his eyes closed. So he quickly covered them.
Yo, that was gas. That dunk right there had NBA Live in a chokehold. Yo, I ain't know how to do no dunk on NBA Live except that I'm gonna be. I swear to God.
History. Reebok wasted no time capitalizing on the moment.
Hey, D. Brown, what are you doing here in New York?
Practicing my new dunk.
Oh, yeah? Which jam?
I ain't gonna lie. Them do look cool right there, though.
Reebok was neck and neck with Nike. The basketball business, twinned with the aerobics market, and pushed
CFM,
them
you
over
tripping.
the top. By the dawn of the 1990s, Reebok was the largest sports company in the world.
Listen.
In the world.
Okay, the 90s, so I don't know. I can't speak on that.
Glorious moment. Reebok wasn't just
Jaylen Brown dad? That ain't his dad for real, is it?
competing with Nike. It was winning. Reebok may have won the battle, but Nike was sitting on a nuclear weapon.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it 100 though. One did make me want to get a pair of them pump-up shoes. It was John Cena. It was John Cena. Then got in the ring and went boom, boom, pump them up, and I was like, why that little gas? I don't know.
The history of the NBA is basically a never-ending relay.
A white man made you want them, huh?
One
So we just boiling John Cena down to being a white man? That's what we doing?
era, hands off to the next. Magic and Bird in the 80s, Jordan in the 90s, and then Kobe and
Yes.
Shaq running through
Y'all
the 2000s
sick.
before LeBron took over, and well, we're still waiting for him to let go. Naturally, sneaker companies saw these superstars as walking, dunking, and trash-talking billboards for their brand. The endorsement game wasn't new.
Them is weak.
Slinging PF flyers since the 50s.
Them one of them koozies. Running around with the PF flyers. Them is weak as fuck. And here he are in his PF flyers. Them his ass.
Adidas and Puma went to war over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Clyde Frazier in the 1970s, and Converse had been the undisputed king of the NBA with Dr. J's
Magic and Birds.
Bird's weapons. Nike had tried to sign Magic Johnson in 1979, but he opted for market leader Converse, and that mistake haunted them. So when Michael Jordan strolled out of Chapel Hill in 1984, Nike wasn't about to let history repeat itself. Jordan's arrival went hand in hand with a boom in sports.
Name tough though, PF Flyers.
American kids in
PF Flyers go hard.
Forward teams like the Sharks, Ducks, Hornets, and Magic, draining their local.
First of all, I'm gonna go back to that. Let me look up some PF Flyers, y'all. Dear God, make it all right. Only you can make it all right. Dear Lord, make it all right. Nothing else ever feels right. Them ass. Dear God, make it all right. His ass. Oh God. God, them is weak. Let's go back a little bit.
For the boom in
Oh man.
sales in the 1990s, with American kids inspired by a new wave of fashion-forward teams like the Sharks, Ducks, Hornets, and Magic, draining their local stores of licensed merchandise. Sportswear was cool. New companies sprung up and saturated the market, putting the squeeze on established players Adidas, Reebok.
Yeah. Yo, man, shout out to Starter and Logo. Y'all jackets are amazing, bro.
First championship in 1990.
Oh my God, bro.
Up with another. By 1992, Reebok.
Pro line, I think this hat is Pro line.
And this was where everything changed. If they couldn't beat Nike in the air-conditioned arenas of the NBA, then they take them outside to the concrete and chain-link nets of America's basketball courts. Reebok recognized it needed a leader, a bankable star with flash, style, and dominance to bite back
Iverson.
against Nike in the increasingly crowded sportswear market. Enter Shaq.
Oh,
Kids
Shaq.
gravitated towards Shaq.
Oh, Shaq did have him. You right. My bad.
Shattering dunks when he debuted for the Magic.
The Shaq gnosis and
With Shaq as the figurehead, Reebok went all in on its black top and above the rim series,
Yo.
hoping to own the streetball culture. But there was one problem.
Ain't the kamikazes basically Shaq's too?
Sure, Shaq was larger than life, but that was also the problem. No one looked at a 7'1", 300-pound center and thought, yeah, that's me. And unfortunately, shoes built for giants tend to be, let's say, structurally reinforced.
Yo, that is a fact though. Like, when you think like traditionally, like the people whose shoes that we with, it's never center shoes. Now, I think Shaq might have the best big man shoe lineup. But yeah, bro, you gotta make these shoes big and bulky for these, bro. Like,
which is a nice way of saying ugly. Whilst the Shaq Attack and Shaq Gnosis sneakers were relevant in the culture, they didn't do the numbers that Reebok needed them to. And after a young mother called Shaq out for the high price of his Reebok,
man, ain't your hating ass on.
Do the numbers that Reebok.
I ain't gonna lie, Will kind of rocking them right now. I just gotta be a real. If you're looking at this picture, them look kind of cool on Will's feet, bro.
Needed them to. And after a young mother called Shaq out for the high price of his Reebok trainers after a Magic training session, Shaq began to focus on his own affordable sneaker brand, the Dunkman. And that was the beginning of the end. A few years later, he joined
Pat Ewing got some fire. I seen Pat Ewing
deal,
shoes.
And Reebok and one of the league's biggest stars parted ways. The other players Reebok signed were electric. Shaq was a force of nature. Sean Kemp was throwing down dunks that defied physics. And Nick Van Exel was... Well, anyway, he was fast.
Nick Van Exel.
But while Jordan turned Nike into a global icon,
Can I call real quick? I'm gonna be quick. All right, what is it?
Hit in the same way. They had talent. They had style.
Why you calling? I do remember the Ewing shoes. I remember Pat Ewing shoes actually made a comeback. Ewing shoes. D Rose, what's their word, gang?
Yo, okay, I'm gonna be quick with this. Hey, in this chat, if y'all don't stop fucking lying, saying y'all was wearing some Tim Duncans, you was not wearing no Adidas.
Thank you, bro.
Please knock it the fuck off.
Now,
thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Let me look up the Adidas Tim Duncans. Where? Got rocking them Timmies, huh? These are the NBA Live 10s. Okay, this is how I think of these. Everything in the NBA Live 10 was wearing these. Wearing the Timmys.
But they didn't have Michael Jordan. And nowhere was that more obvious than at the 1992 Olympic medal ceremony when Jordan, ever the Nike man,
Yo, Flash, stop putting that in the chat. Start putting it.
The American flag. By 1996, it was clear. Jordan and Nike weren't just a competition. They were the
that was the next.
Reebok needed to get more aggressive. They needed a new face of the brand. And in
Let me
Jordan,
bet. Hell
they
no.
found the perfect man for the job. If the question was how to beat Nike, Reebok thought they might just have found the answer.
Hey, they found a good one.
With the first pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Allen Iverson from Georgetown.
Oh, Google Tim Duncan Nikes. Yeah, some wearing these. Y'all ready? These fucking trash. I don't give a fuck. I'll be the spam the L's for me. Spam the L's for me. These butt as fuck. I don't give a fuck about your nostalgia. I don't give a fuck about that you like these and you had these as a kid. We talking about with your eyes in big old 2025. These is bogus as hell. Chicago, can I use y'all lingo real quick?
University.
As the Bulls
go ahead, Shorty.
Fourth NBA championship, a young Allen Iverson was tearing it up.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't just another talented guard. He was a generational player, a culture-shifting superstar. Nike was in the mix, but Reebok, well,
that's a great pickup. They had it so tough.
His first signature shoe before even signing him. They called it the Question because, well, there were a lot of questions surrounding Iverson at the time.
Now the question, listen, I'm cooling on the question. I never say nothing. I've never owned a pair of these, but I done seen enough of these on the NBA court and outside to know this is a valid shoe. This is a valid shoe. Like, but the thing about this shoe, the colorways though, it's not, from what I've seen, it's not too many like colorways you could do with this shoe. Because if you do too much, it can look really ass. I think it's a limited shoe colorway wise, but a valid shoe.
Could he handle the NBA? Would his street ball swagger translate? Would he ever pass the ball? Designed by Scott Hewitt, the Reebok Question had everything.
The red and whites was gas. That's why they keep bringing them out.
Lacing that mimicked the Air Jordan 6 and a now iconic colored toe cap. When AI laced them up for his rookie season, he put on a show.
Cash being Stone makes sense.
Himself,
cross his ass.
Everyone knew his name. Reebok had high hopes for the shoe, but even they underestimated the hype.
It's a good video. I like these.
The first 5,000 pairs in Philly, kids were driving up from Virginia and DC to get them. The Question was such a massive hit, they didn't even bother making the Question 2 until 2004. Instead, they pivoted straight to the answer.
I remember these. Well, no, I don't remember these. You want to know how I know about this shoe? 2K. I swear to God. Yo, but besides that too, I do know a couple of that that have these in real life, but those are the just went to wear throwback shit. Like this shoe, I'm chilling on. I will say this shoe kind of reminds me a lot of what's being made now today's.
Unlike Shaq 5 years prior, kids on America's blacktops could identify with Iverson. And despite a downturn in basketball shoes,
I would. You know what? Hold on. Before I do that, let me hell no. Hell no. I'm good.
The answer, sold. The answer also debuted Iverson's i3 logo. Soon Reebok had i3 on everything.
i3 logo
jerseys,
tough.
Headbands, t-shirts, notebooks.
Tough. They capitalized.
So, remember how we talked about eras? Well, this was a moment when Michael Jordan retired from the Bulls in 1998, where the NBA was up for grabs. Nike scrambled as their golden goose flew the nest, and Reebok was perfectly poised to take the cultural range with Allen Iverson and the i3, connecting with kids across the nation. The crossover, the cornrows.
This music is tough.
AI wasn't just a player, he was a movement. And Reebok empowered him to be exactly who he was. Because it sold shoes. By the early 2000s, Reebok was built around Allen Iverson and his blacktop toughness. And so despite the downturn in sales for sportswear across the board, the answer shoe took off.
Let's look at the lineup. Let's look at the lineup. Look at the lineup. Look at the lineup. It's actually not a good lineup at all, man. Who the f was designing these shoes, man? I know this was a hit in the N1 community because I'm thinking of N1 right now. Okay, not f***ing with it, not f***ing with it. You cooked something crazy. Whoever the chef was, let him cook again. Let him cook again. All right? No, they're not.
With 15 signature models released over 22 years. And while each shoe had its moment, there was
tweaking. Oh yeah, I know.
Iconic than the answer 4. The shoe Iverson wore during his MVP.
The answer 4 is crazy.
Run to the 2001.
Okay, so look, him doing this and going to the finals, getting his MVP, it adds to, like, let's say the aura of the shoe. But this is just a good-looking shoe all around. Like, they cooked with this.
The shoe Iverson wore during his MVP season and the unforgettable run to the 2001 NBA Finals. That iconic image of Iverson sticking with Tyronn Lue in Game 1 of the Finals. His Reebok answer 4s frozen in midair.
How about that?
I disagree. I get you. I think it's a good-looking shoe.
It didn't happen. Reebok's bet didn't cash. Again, the Sixers lost in 5 games to the Lakers, and Shaq was named Finals MVP. Despite his stellar offensive play in Philadelphia, as he aged, Iverson couldn't see himself transitioning into a role player. He wanted to be the focal point of the offense. He dealt with injuries. He refused to come off the bench. He turned up late to practice. And meanwhile, Reebok's former bet Shaquille O'Neal and Iverson's fellow 1996 draftee Kobe Bryant were busy capturing the next era of NBA basketball. Iverson was a spark plug, a culture changer, a talking point and an icon. But with the Lakers three-peat in the early 2000s, the era belonged to Kobe and Shaq. Shaq should have been wearing Reebok, but he wasn't. Iverson should have won a championship.
We focusing on Shaq here, and I know you're about to get to Kobe, but we need to talk about Kobe. Because, and I know you're going to get there, and we talk about Reebok, but boy, what Kobe's sneakers have become, I never thought I'd see him be to this point. Like, now, Kobe's shoes was popular back then. Very popular. But in the last 5 to, let's say, last 8 to 7, 8 years, the Kobe has boomed to an unimaginable level. Like, yeah, I know it was cooking and slowly bubbling before then. You had players that always wore them, like DeMar. Of course, you had Kobe. He's always had a solid lineup. But the way that it just cooked, like just boomed, everybody is wearing Kobe's. Nike know Kobe's is going so crazy. All of their new athlete signature shoes look like Kobe's. Because they're trying to just capitalize off this. This nuts.
But he didn't.
The Grinch went crazy. Grinch is crazy.
Reebok had the moments, but somehow, every time the final buzzer sounded in the early 2000s, Nike had the rings.
Wouldn't Tom Brady Reebok though?
Having recognized the downturn in sales of sportswear
Look at them jackets.
Fashion in the late 1990s, Reebok turned
Under Armour
to the league apparel contracts and launched an all-out attack on the American sideline. Somehow, Reebok beat out both Nike and Adidas for an exclusive.
I'm so glad we got here.
Licensing deal. David Stern came calling, and suddenly Reebok had an exclusive licensing deal with the NBA. Yes,
sir.
Reebok returned to what they knew best: performance wear. They
bring them back. Get Nike the f out the NFL. Bring them back. This was I severe when they said Nike was taking over from Reeboks, I was like, oh my God, Nike gonna be so much better. Oh, this gonna be fire. Bring them back.
RBK. It wasn't fashion anymore. It was cutting-edge sports technology. And at precisely the same time, a fresh face emerged from Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio.
A high school game here in Cleveland has attracted a crowd of...
Of course, yeah, they got Oregon fire, though.
It's not just any high school.
Oregon gas.
Phenom LeBron James against the #1 ranked team in the country, Oak Hill.
Don't win none, though.
LeBron Mania goes national here tonight.
Reebok, Nike, and Adidas fell over themselves to sign LeBron. Adidas sponsored his high school team's uniforms, and Reebok...
Fact, the Elite Sox is crazy.
Custom Reebok questions for the 2003 McDonald's...
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, LeBron and the Reeboks look kind of fire, though. I never seen this. See, this is a good shoe. That's not a bad shoe, bro.
All-American game. Reebok chief Paul Fireman even folded up a $10 million check to convince LeBron to sign, but it didn't work. He would sign with Nike for $87 million.
They gave him that bag.
This was a body blow to Reebok. Already struggling.
Get off, bro. I just gave
Nike
credit.
Losing their bet on Allen Iverson in what was to become known as the Kobe and Shaq era, they scrambled. And it all got a bit desperate. Taking the money they would have spent on LeBron, Reebok completed the licensed sportswear full house by negotiating the MLB footwear contract and buying the hockey company, snagging the NHL jersey contract along with it. Reebok was now draped across every single major professional sports league in America.
That's crazy.
They doubled down on their relationship with Allen Iverson and, seemingly not learning their lesson, signed 7'6" Rocket center Yao Ming. They also poured budget.
I get it, though. The Yao Ming was not a United States play, though. I got to see how it played out in China. Because, yeah, it's not. And he was hyped in the U.S. Don't get it twisted. The internet was around. That Yao Ming motion is crazy. You just got to go watch old documentaries on it. Crazy. But the China play, they could cook in China potentially. I don't know if it worked.
Into rapper collaboration. Enter 50
Kobe had China. Let me tell you what, it don't matter what Kobe black ass would have did in China or had China. Get out of the way, Kobe, for Yao Ming.
G-Unit sneakers and Jay-Z's S Carter line, which brings us all the way back to 2005, and Reebok is everywhere. The NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL music videos flooded with oversized Reebok jerseys, Terry Tate, office linebacker, destroying your co-workers in a Super Bowl commercial, Sidney Crosby repping RBK on the ice, Peyton Manning repping Reebok on the gridiron. It's everywhere. And that is precisely the problem.
We have always said that this deal is
What's the
about
problem?
revenue synergies, because I'm absolutely convinced that we have much more potential in growing both brands with the help of each other.
If you looked at the pro sports sidelines of the early 2000s, you'd think Reebok ruled the world. But behind the scenes, things were falling apart. The company had its hands in 100 different projects and was hemorrhaging cash. Adidas, whilst big in Europe, was getting squashed in the US market, sitting with a measly 5% compared to Reebok's 17%.
Oh, they took that.
Nike, of course, was lapping them both, powered by the Air Jordan empire and LeBron James. Adidas needed firepower, and Reebok seemed like the perfect weapon. And so, in 2006, Adidas
I never knew this.
Strike Vulture and dropped $3.8 billion to acquire Reebok. On paper, it was a super team. Adidas would dominate European soccer and Reebok would hold down the American sports, and together they'd finally be able to challenge Nike. At least that was the plan.
Not for a while.
What actually happened? Adidas gutted Reebok like a they was stretched too thin. NBA, NFL, fitness, music collabs. So they started trimming the fat.
Cut the rappers off.
Adidas yanked Reebok's NBA deal and slapped their own logo on their jerseys. By 2012, Nike had swooped in and taken back the NFL contract.
God.
The NHL contract lasted until 2017, but
Nike just read up the contract too. It's over.
Adidas eventually absorbed that too. And just like that, Reebok, once a major player in American sports, was wiped off.
Adidas killed it.
Reduced to a fitness brand, pushing CrossFit shoes and training gear, while Adidas pocketed the...
And that new Reebok triangle is ass. Who made that? That's trash, bro.
Contracts. Somewhere along the way, the magic faded. The pumps deflated. The answer was left unanswered. Reebok kept
just
betting
killed a
on that
brand.
thing. Shaq, Iverson, Jay-Z. But they never quite caught up to Nike's consistent stream of icons. Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. So who really killed Reebok? Nike?
Adidas?
Adidas? Allen Iverson's refusal to practice? Who knows? But maybe...
Man, the thing that really killed them, stretching themselves thin. And Adidas. Hey, yo, we think we making a power team. They just killed it.
Reebok's biggest enemy was themselves. Forever chasing trends instead of...
Yo, D-Rose, I seen both of them wearing Reeboks.
Up and down the court. So rest in peace, Reebok. You'll always have Yao Ming.